that kind of rose to the occasion in that game and able to kind of get the win at the end. So I don't know what I'm seeing with the 49ers. And then they're also got some more bad news is that their starting D tackle, Javon Kinlaw, looks like he might be out for the season after that game. So that's another big loss of theirs. So I don't know. I don't like what I saw with that game for the 49ers. The Colts, I take it like a grain of salt. You know what I mean? Yeah, they won against the 49ers, but again, we've seen the Colts struggle early on in the season, so it's like I don't know how much I can, kind of really buy from the Indianapolis Colts. You know what I mean? What are we seeing with Carson Wentz? Is he going to be able to stay healthy? You got all these questions going around, and I'm not ready to buy into the Colts just yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know, because you still see him made a lot of the mistakes. And, yes, I understand the weather was pretty bad. It was bad for both teams. That's why we saw a few of the turnovers, I think, from Jimmy G as well. But it didn't bode well for him either, especially when people have been liking what Trey Lance has been doing too as well.
The other thing,
trying to get people to move on.
Right. The other thing that I will say is, and we kind of called this before the season even started, is Jonathan Taylor. Mm-hmm. The offense was going to run based on Jonathan Taylor, and that's what it seems to be doing. Taylor's been lights out this whole season. He's had over 130 yards almost every single week. It's been absolutely insane. And as long as he can stay healthy, I feel like the Colts have a shot offensively. But when they go up against these tougher opponents, it seems like Carson Wentz can't answer the bell when he needs to deliver those throws and he needs to deliver.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And then talking about the Saints game too as well for Monday night, that was pretty tough to watch, and it didn't have anything to do with weather. It was just both teams, the mistakes by Jameis Winston, the overthrows and stuff. It's frustrating. You saw him even blow up with I think it was it Traquan Smith, I think, on the side of him. And that was him, I think, giving up on the play. And then he ended up getting that offensive pass interference, which I think that offensive pass interference was kind of BS on my part when I looked at it, because it seemed like the defender was kind of there, but it looked like something just buckled underneath his leg, and he ended up just falling over and having some type of injury, because he didn't push him hard enough for him to get injured during that play. But still, mistakes by Jameis ended up making this game a bit closer. I mean, because, again, you're facing Geno Smith on the other side. And Geno Smith has been playing, I think, fairly well, I guess, for a guy of his, ability or whatever, but he's still Geno Smith. He's still going to make some of those mistakes and things like that.
But he was okay.
He was okay, but again, that's the thing, that with the Seattle Seahawks, we knew this was going to happen, and that's the thing too. It's not exactly about Geno Smith altogether. It's about this team as a whole, what they've been able to accomplish solely because of having Russell Wilson. And this is what you're able to witness right now. We're able to witness the difference without Russell Wilson there. And you're seeing it, and it looks pretty putrid out there. He's been doing a lot all on his own, taking the hits. Finally, he took one too many here and has the broken finger. But and now you're missing him without it. You know what I'm saying? You can't get your running game going. You can't make plays on with the quarterback, and then your defense, you can't score to make up for the lack of defense that you have. So this is what you're forced with. And the Saints, though, should have been able to make this more of a statement game, and it was way too close than what it should have been.
Yeah, they should have pulled away. And the funny thing is you don't need to be a great quarterback when you're the quarterback of the Saints. And this game proved it, because who was the one guy that they went to when things were getting tough? They would just dump it off to Alvin Kamara, and there he goes. I mean, he's one of the toughest guys to tackle in the open field. And what's baffling to me is that no matter who they play, nobody keys up on Kamara. Nobody ever does. It seems like he's by himself in the flat, and he just gets the ball dumped to him, and then it's like everyone's like, oh, hey, look who's got the ball. We got to go up and try to make a tackle now. And it's difficult in itself. So the Saints, I mean, if somebody defensively could just kind of game plan just for Kamara, this Saints offense would be in big-time trouble.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially with Taysom Hill not being available as of yet due to injury. That's another weapon that they could utilize right now that could open up this offense, because let's face it, they just don't have weapons. They don't have receivers that are getting open enough, or Winston just simply not seeing them soon enough to get them the football. So I feel like this offense is going to continue to struggle until they get guys like Taysom Hill back, until they get guys like Michael Thomas back, to kind of return to their form offensively. But, it was a sloppy game to say the least, and the Saints ended up edging out Seattle in the end.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing, I actually watched the Manning cast this time for Monday Night Football.
Oh, you got to watch that?
Yeah, I decided to. Because I didn't get.
What'd you think?
I didn't try it. I thought Peyton, being the main guy, like he keeps the show going, obviously.
Right.
But I like his aspect because he's always looking, not only just to ask the other people, what do you think about this play, what's going on? He actually will explain things to you and tell you, he's like, this is what I'm seeing or this is what I'm doing and blah, blah, and that's what I'm recognizing, which I think it's nice for other people, especially that don't watch football a lot, to kind of get a better understanding and recognize different coverages and what possibly could happen. But some of the other guys, I liked it when he had Tom Brady on there, but Tom still acted like he didn't want to give anything up or what they,
he don't want to give his mind set up.
Why would I tell you what I think here?
Yeah.
What do I run here? What would Tampa do? No, I ain't going to tell you that. But I think it was a lot of fun having him on there, and I think it was very entertaining.
Yeah.
I think Eli's just doesn't know still what to do. He's got that personality, but
No, he
I
does.
think during that show, it's just he doesn't let it out even as much. I think on occasions he does. He's got his good one-liners, but he was even Peyton was even asking Eli about something, and Eli was just watching a game, and he's like, yeah. And just really blew off his question altogether. And Peyton's like, you're leaving me hanging, bro. It's like, okay. All right, well, anyways, and stuff. But it's funny, though, how he's got the tablet there and breaking down this play and what he saw, though. But Eli had broke down some plays, too, when he saw that tight end screen that should have been there that Jameis should have picked up as well. Right. And that's the thing that we're talking about here with Jameis Winston missing some of those other things. He's got his head looking somewhere else and staring down a receiver when this has got to be your quick reaction type of play.
I watched them one time, and that's all I needed to see.
Yeah.
I'll say that much. I didn't like the fact that they weren't. It was like they were going off topic a lot of times. The game's going on. It's on to the next play, but now they're still talking about the last play. And it's like, as a football fan, I mean, and you're right. Like there might be some newcomers that are watching or just getting into football. Maybe that might be something that they could utilize to maybe learn a little bit about the plays or the formations and such. But I don't know. I feel like you learn more just by watching the games and watching it for yourself, getting to know what the rules are and the calls and the penalties and just watching yourself. And actually the analysis that comes out of the booth, they do a fairly good job of
I was going to say, I mean, you do have Louis Riddick over there and
stuff like that. So I feel like they give you a good, bunch of knowledge as you watch football games. But for me, I kind of watched the whole. It was week one. Week one, I watched that Monday night special with those two guys, and Peyton was very animated. Eli was involved a little bit more than like you were saying now, and I feel like it's kind of getting old for them. Like maybe not Peyton, but like for Eli, he's like, man, I don't really want to freaking do this.
Yeah, he's just chilling, watching TV. Like I said, he's like, I'm just here.
And you got to remember too, big brother Peyton, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So maybe Eli feels a little, he doesn't have as much authority as Peyton. Peyton's like going on. He's like, oh yeah, see, you got the goal line formation here. The tight end he goes out on a drag, and then this guy, but he hands it off, and you know what I mean? Like he's explaining things and stuff, and he's so into it and everything. Where Eli's just like, do I get to talk? When?
Yeah.
No. You got okay. You got this. That's fine. You know what I mean? So it's like, and it's kind of like what you could imagine them sitting next to each other at home, watching a football game. Peyton, like, oh, did you see that? Yeah, I saw that. What are you talking about? I was in the NFL too. You know what I mean? Like, and it's kind of like a brotherly thing. So I don't know. It's not my cup of tea, but I would just rather watch the games.
I hear you.
Real quick, I want to catch up on the comments here.
Sure.
Because we got to catch up here. Lady Bell, she said, I get scared of kid movies. My daughter tells me when it's over. Greg Schreiner just chimed in. What's up, Greg?
Greg's in the house.
Lady Bill says Seven, the movie Seven.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And then what's in the bag? Well, there's really nothing in the bag. It's more like a bowl, but it's just
in the bag,
just
this thing right here.
That's the only thing I could think of.
I guess maybe. Oh, or is that the name of a movie?
There we go.
What's in the bag? Maybe that's a scary
Could
movie.
be. That
sounds scary to me. What's in the bag?
Mike Tackett chimed in. He said, Sinister was voted the all-time scariest movie recently. I caught it on TV one day as it was halfway through. watched about 10 minutes of it, and had to turn it off. Scared the shit out of me.
Oh, really? Really?
To this day, I refuse to watch it.
Oh, man.
Well, Mike.
Really?
So,
What's Sinister? I have to
Sinister.
write that down because
Write that down.
I
Check it out.
I will take on any challenge just about. So
He will take it on.
I do. I'll take on any challenge. I'm looking for something different to watch. I don't do a whole lot of binge watching, like on Netflix and stuff like that. And I find it hard right now for me to even find anything I really want to be, attracted to watching. So if I could find something like that and it ends up keeping me intrigued, even trying to be scared, I would still watch that. I find the ones that are just super duper boring, and then I just watched one, and then I just saw this one called Open House, right? Like, hey, this thing seems all right. People lost their husband and then father, blah blah. Now they go to stay at this open house that her sister-in-law trying to sell, and weird shit happens.
Yeah.
Well, the whole movie ends up happening and stuff like that. Then after, when it's over, both of them die still, and then you don't find out who the killer is. It just ends.
Really?
Yeah. And there was a stranger inside the open house the whole time, like a real person,
God.
wasn't a ghost. And
Just
then
hiding?
Yeah,
Just hiding
and
out?
then they killed them, and then they left it open, and it was like, oh, thank you. Now I just spent 2
was
hours on that.
amazing.
And they died anyways, so there was no happy ending with that, and we still don't even know who the person was or the killer was. That shit just annoys me. It doesn't make
I
me
think
like
that's what they were
suspect,
going
like, oh,
for.
I can't wait till the next one. Maybe I'll find out. No, you lost me. You're done. I'm done with that.
That's
what I
what
mean?
they wanted. They wanted you to get
Oh,
aggravated.
dude, they do. I hate that. I get aggravated a lot with some of these things, but you'd be surprised. I should have my own rant podcast, of things that I rant about and
You
get
know what really
aggravated with.
grinds my gears?
Yeah. If Peter, Griffin had already take that one, I would totally ride on that whole grinds my gears thing. Jesus. All right, but anyways, you know what doesn't grind my gears?
What's that?
My buddies there at Colorize, Joe. They've got 3 stores. One's in Queensbury, one's in Niskayuna, one's in Clifton Park, New York. And let me tell you, it's locally owned. They do everything they can to take care of you when you go in there. Yes, they're a local Benjamin Moore professional and carrier out there, but they focus on other outstanding products as well. As an independent dealer, they have access to almost any type of paint and finish related stuff. They're serving everyone from the professional to the do-it-yourselfer. Colorize. They're eager to help you, and they're capable of making your next project go a lot smoother. Trust me, I'm in the industry. I go see my guy Link over there. If I need a color done for me right away, quick, I send it in there a couple days to get it back. Dude, it's right on point. It gets approved. Good to go. Customer's happy. That means I'm happy. That means my whole business is happy. We want you to be happy too. Go check out Colorize. 3 different locations: Clifton Park, Niskayuna, and Queensbury. Colorize, the right paint, color, and advice from local professionals who care. Check them out on mycolorize.com, Joe. That's right.
Excellent.
Boom.
Excellent. Now I know where to go to get my colors.
Yeah, definitely paint. Forget Lowe's and all those other people. They got some Joe Schmo dude that makes, $15 an hour for some
Yeah, and they
goddamn
don't
reason.
care if it's right.
Doesn't even know what he's doing. He's over there looking at, this is the paint swatch. All right, whatever. I just put it in this thing, and this thing machine's supposed to do it
Yeah,
for
you
me.
gotcha.
And there it is. Dab, there it's on the lid. There, it looks good. Yeah, okay, there you go. Your next gallon won't be the same color, Shit like that. I'm done with that stuff. I go to the real paint professionals, and that's Colorize. All right, anyways, Joe. All right, so we've been doing this here for this past season here. It's a lot of fun. I like looking through at everybody here. It's my milk carton missing player of the week, Joe.
Who is it this week?
You might be surprised, but you might not be, Joe. I try and make it different here every week, but there it is.
Oh!
Patrick Mahomes. Whoever thought this guy would end up on the milk carton, Joe? You know what I'm saying?
That's it.
Yeah.
The walking, Kermit the Frog.
Oh.
This guy.
Yeah. Kermit, I don't even have any Kermit the Frog music. What about the
he actually moves like a lady, too.
You'll find the rainbow connection.
But yeah, honestly, and this has kind of been, through the circles of the NFL, there's been a lot of reporters, there's been a lot of media coverage on this about Mahomes, kind of like what's going on with him.
What happened to him?
It's all his fault. Blah blah blah. Well, you know what? He's kind of in the same realm of Sam Darnold in terms of his receivers not holding on to the ball too. We've seen that.
Well, that
the past
depleted
couple
offensive
of weeks.
line, he's actually getting pressured nonstop, and when you don't have time
what's
to do
funny?
something,
Right? But
you can't.
But you know something? That line was all overhauled. They're just not in sync up
They're
front.
not.
They're
Yeah.
not in sync up front, and they're struggling to protect them. It's that simple. When you have that compounded on top of receivers not catching the ball for him, or himself just not making good decisions. We've seen it over and over with him as he tries to make a play happen when he's about to get sacked or he's being rushed out of the pocket, and the guy's just not quite open, but he still tries to get it to him, and that's when you're starting to see more turnovers from him and more interceptions.
And it looks like, I think for me, to watch defensive play, it looks like zone works better against them here because they're
Which
able
is
to
surprising.
keep two guys in zone over with Tyreek Hill and kind of keep him covered over the top and then underneath. And then they're allowed to just maybe even go half zone and man on some of the other guys.
Yeah,
and now they've been able to help out with stopping Travis Kelce even too.
Because a lot of times with this offense, especially this past season, what they were very successful at is pushing down the field with Tyreek Hill, and if he had man-to-man coverage or if he just flat out burns whoever, he would just chuck it up to him, and that's where you got those big chunk plays happening. And then if it wasn't there, Travis Kelce comes across the middle, he settles into the zone, he just throws him a 10-yard pass and lets him run with the ball. So that's kind of been their formula, since Mahomes got there. And now it seems like maybe defenses are starting to figure them out offensively. And to your point, they have a certain zone coverage, or maybe it's man zone, like it's a hybrid type of coverage where they're playing zone deep against Tyreek Hill or whoever they send deep, like maybe Mecole Hardman or Dominic Robinson, whatever. And that's kind of holding that cap over them. And then underneath, they just got maybe man-to-man coverage against Kelce to stay close with him. And that's what's tripping up Mahomes, and he's just not making the plays.
Yeah, absolutely. So my milk carton player of the week, the missing player, he is nowhere to be found. Let me give you the stats quick of last week. This is why he ends up on my my milk carton.
Let me hear it.
But he went 20 for 35, 57% completion percentage, Joe. 0 touchdowns and 1 INT and 2 fumbles. Lost, and his rating overall was a 62.3.
Ouch.
Probably his lowest in his career, Joe. I mean, that's got to be pretty bad.
Rough.
And he's had an interception a game, except for week 1. I don't think he had one. But besides that, he's had one.
Wow.
And some multiple. He's leading the league in interceptions, tied with Zach Wilson right now.
Like 9, I think.
Something like nine. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think that's right, 9. So
that's crazy.
Right there, and that's the thing that people want to say this philosophy about how good a quarterback is. All those other key pieces to the team make a difference. That offensive line makes a difference. If Tom Brady has had that great line in front of him and can keep him in the pocket that long, and he has time to throw, he will eat you apart. But when you pressure him, he gets out of his comfort zone and
get him off the spot.
Yeah, no shit. Like that happens with any type of quarterback. Most of them. Some other ones can kind of burn you with their legs, but if you know how to contain them as well, that's the one thing too. Yeah. Patrick Mahomes hasn't really been able to get out of the pocket as well to get into some of those throws to where he's a threat to run and he can just kind of go and bubble pump and then still run it, or he dish it off to Kelce and things like that. So
there's one thing about Mahomes that it kind of bothers me is I was watching I think NFL Network and they were talking about Mahomes, right? And the same kind of thing, like they were talking about what's going on with him, and there was one thing that they brought up was his no-look passes. They're like, look at another no-look pass, and it's not a no-look pass.
Are y'all fucking serious right now?
I feel this. I feel that right now. Are you all fucking serious right now? Because honestly, when you watch him, listen, his helmet is one way, but if you look at his eyes are still looking at the receiver. Like I'm looking, my head's faced Jim right now, but my eyes are looking right at the camera. That's the same thing that Mahomes is doing. It's not a real no look. It's just not. You can't throw a football without looking.
Well, yeah, you can easily glance like this and not move your helmet. Like I can do this and look over.
Exactly.
I mean, in your line of vision is like this, but you can still do it. Matthew Stafford did it, a few weeks ago, I think, and again, that wasn't brought up at all.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, so was Mike Tackett says Mike Milk Carton feature isn't just one player. It's the entire New York Jets defense giving up 54 with a rookie team at
quarterback
the helm.
At the helm.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That is a real big just pile of shit right there. The New York Giants, the New York Jets.
To be fair, it's Robert Saleh's first year. He's going to work on this defense going forward, so let's give him a couple years to get his feet underneath him, and see what kind of players he can acquire on that defense and how well they can play.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's the thing. For them, like for me, it's too easy to pick on them.
They're rebuild
because I already
mode right
knew
now.
what they might be this year anyway. So
They're rebuilding.
but it's tough even too to look at some of these different players and try and see who might be my milk carton player, because there's certain instances too that happen within the game to where I'm like, well, yeah, I mean it's not exactly his fault altogether too, and things like that, but. Patrick Mahomes, it's been compiling up for a few weeks, I think, here, so I think he was well deserving to get it.
He was long overdue.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what's long overdue, Joe?
What? What's long overdue?
The time that we talk about Johnstone Supply right now, because you know what? It's getting cold right now, Joe. It's like the daytime, I think, is right. It's been really rainy up here, up in New York lately, but the nights have been getting cold.
Chilly.
And I've been doing the wood stove and stuff, but if you don't have a wood stove and things like that, what do you got to do? You got to go to Johnstone Supply.
Yeah, definitely got to hit our boys up. Johnstone Supply in Troy, New York on 6th Avenue. Hey, do you need a furnace? Do you need a furnace replaced? Do you need some filters replaced? You need to upgrade your heating system. These are the guys to go to. Johnstone Supply in Troy, New York. They will make sure your home is going to stay warm, nice and warm for these upcoming cold months that's right around the corner. They're a family-owned and operated business. They've been helping upstate New York residents for decades. You know, you can go ahead and visit their store, 6th Avenue in Troy, New York, or for more information, you can. They can help you this fall. You can hit them up on Facebook. You can reach out to them and even call them. Call the guys, George or Tom, and the rest of the staff there. They're all waiting to help you guys out there. If you need help on staying warm this season, make sure you give them a call, 518-272-5922. That's Johnstone Supply, 6th Avenue in Troy, New York. Their number, once again, is 518-272-5922. Those are the guys. Let them know that you heard it from Football on the No Show.
Yes, my master.
You know what's funny is Gaz just sent us a pic. Maybe just said, did you get the snap from Gaz about the urinal over there at Troy's at Johnstone Supply?
No.
Oh,
no.
All right, well here you go. Gaz, he sent me this Snapchat, right?
Yeah.
And it's for some reason he took a snap picture of the urinal at Johnstone Supply.
For what?
At Johnstone Supply, because it says right above the urinal, proud sponsor of these wonderful podcasts, and there we are,
my
Football
God.
on the No, above a urinal in Johnstone Supply, and so I'm just like, wow, that's pretty cool. But you know what? It made me start thinking. I'm like, we've been doing this marketing wrong. Maybe, Joe, we need urinal cakes. Football on the No urinal cakes. What do you think about that?
I don't know.
What a better thing to pee on, right, than just a Football on the No symbol, maybe, or just my face or your face. Who knows? I mean, amazing.
So you want them to piss on us?
Perhaps.
That's real great.
Hey, but it could be the last thing they see, especially if it's in a bar or nightclub, and they're like, man, you know, it's buzzing, and like,
You're
hey,
going to
look
be
at that.
drunk if you're in a bar or nightclub.
Some people remember that stuff. Who knows? But anyways, we're having a lot of fun. Happy Halloween to everybody out there. Make sure if you haven't yet, follow us on Twitter, FB_no. And if you haven't yet, also go to YouTube. We're on YouTube. We broadcast live from there every Wednesday, as well as Facebook at Football on the No Show. Hit the notification bell, let you know whenever we go live.
Make sure
and
you
also
subscribe.
on Godzilla Media, their YouTube as well. Check out that to see other podcasts too as well, and all of our family friends. Joe, we've been doing every year. It's our annual thing. We do this thing called Trick or Treat here, Joe, and what we do is we usually, sometimes it's teams here and there, but we usually pick a phrase out there, a statement, and it's almost like a true or false, or what we going with. You know, I'm not sure. You know, but we do that, and it's a whole lot of fun. We want you guys to play along with us as well, and everybody also on Spotify and all of our podcast stuff too out there. Audio.
Mike Tackett
Play
just
along.
commented, said, Jim and Joe urinal cakes. R. Kelly approves.
Sit down.
Yeah. All right, Killian approves. Oh, I think, I guess so. Yes, that is hilarious. I like that. We might be too old for him to be in that urinal cake over R. Kelly. All right. Anyway, so here we go. We're doing Trick or Treat, Joe. You know, I'm going to cue up some music. Let's get it going. Let's get music going. Let's have some fun.
Let's do
All right,
it.
play along, everybody. Trick or Treat. Here we go.
Let's go.
First thing for Trick or Treat. The Cardinals will make history and go 8-0. What I mean history is, I think last week when they went 7-0 now, they had tied a franchise record. You know, so overall they've done it only one other time And now if they win this week, I think it would be the first time ever, so they could be a now acknowledged team, 2021 Cardinals, first time they've ever gone 8-0. Joe, what do you think so far? They got a tough team they have to play here in the Green Bay Packers, but they do not have Devontae Adams there as well.
No, and that to me is like kind of like a huge loss, bigger than what people are going to see here. The Green Bay Packers not having Devontae Adams is like you're just not. It's not having Aaron Rodgers' favorite target, and it could play a huge part in this game. Because Devontae Adams is that go-to guy, the guy that always kind of bails out this offense to get a first down, get a touchdown, and Rodgers is always looking his way because, quite simply, he's the best receiver on this damn team and could be the best receiver in the league. So that's a huge loss for Green Bay's offense. Look, if you're Aaron Jones right now, this is definitely going to be a big game for you, receiving-wise, rushing-wise. Watch out for him. But it's all going to come down to Arizona. Cardinals this week, and this is going to probably just be my pick, too, because I'm just going to talk about the game anyway.
Yeah, why we roll with it.
So, Arizona Cardinals, listen, I love their defense, how much they've improved, and this offense is so tough to stop right now. Kyler Murray, are you kidding me? This guy is even better. He's even better as a passer this year, and with his running ability, it makes this offense super hard to stop. Yes, they have a couple injuries across the offensive line, but I feel like that's not going to really halt this offense at all. The Cardinals' defense, however, they are going to be without J.J. Watt this week, but they still have Chandler Jones. Yeah. And this defense, man, they feed off of this pressure. They feed off of each other. Cardinals are at home. I'm going to say this is a treat. I'm going to go right on board here and say the Cardinals will make history this Thursday night, tomorrow night, against Green Bay in Arizona. It's not in Green Bay. If it was in Green Bay, it might be a little bit different story. But I think Arizona gets the edge here.
There you go. So he says it's a treat for him. They are going 8-0, and I like that as well too. As that might as well be my pick as well. And it's like the way you set that up too. It's almost like I can hear The Rock saying this. They're like,
if
they're going to
smell what the Cardinals are cooking.
That's right. What the Cardinals are cooking. I like it. And but yeah, they're going in there, going to take it home, go 8-0, make some history. Here we go. Next one now for Trick or Treat. Deshaun Watson will be traded by November 2nd, 4 p.m. That's the trade deadline next week. Man, we hear all the noise coming. We're hear names getting thrown out there too, and blah blah. And there could be a deal. I love this too. There could be a deal done by this time. Blah blah. There could be a deal, this and this, and then throwing out other teams, and they're like, oh, I never said anything like that at all. Well, but there you go. Deshaun Watson's still out there. We're not really hearing a whole lot, even out of Houston's camp at all. I think they're just sitting tight. I'm sure they're picking up the phone and listening to something.
Oh, they definitely have.
But you're not hearing anything about the scandal or the trial or the punishment that he might have could get, because there isn't one yet. So what the hell is going on with this whole thing? Not
a lot of information. That's pretty much the whole deal going forward is Roger Goodell and the NFL. They've done their own investigation into this whole situation, but they themselves have said they don't have enough information to even give him a suspension or anything. So, and because of that, they don't have the right to put him on the commissioner's exempt list. Mm-hmm. So that's why he's still out there. He's still available to play, but he's involved with this whole court case, and he refuses to practice or even play for the Houston Texans. So it looks like a trade is imminent. However, coming up for this trade deadline, it's tough because out of all the reports, the Panthers have officially declared themselves out of the race. That was speculation. We know we've heard about the Eagles being speculated about pursuing him, but I feel like that's not going to amount to anything. I feel like there's only one team. That's right. Only one team that is giving legitimate interest, and that's the Miami Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins look like they're the closest to the discussions for Deshaun Watson. It looks like they have made a big-time offer. You could speculate that it's 3 first-round picks and 3 third-round picks, and after that, we don't know if there's going to be a player involved or not. But it seems like if it was to happen, it would be a blockbuster and humongous deal for Deshaun Watson. However, being that November 2nd is right around the corner. On Tuesday, 4 p.m. Eastern is the deadline. I'm going to say until this court case is resolved, I'm not so sure a trade will happen. I feel like, and this court case doesn't look like it's going to be resolved by Tuesday. Because of that, I don't see it happening, and look forward into the offseason for him to be dealt when they have more clarification. So for me, I'm going to say that's a little bit of a trick for me.
Boom. Yeah. I mean, it's I haven't believed any of it since this whole thing anyways, too. No matter what they say about somebody, they're interested. This guy might be interested. This might. Yeah, I think this thing's going to blow all the way over until the end of the season. And I think when teams are all fall into line and where positioning they are with draft space and things like that, and then we're getting more information, like you said, as it seems with this court case, I think that's when the dominoes will fall, and I think and things will fall into place and a better perspective on things. But as far as Miami, that's really the only team we've heard some other ones here and there, but that's what
Those
we've been
teams are
consistent that whole time. And it's kind of funny that they've given up on Tua so fast, even though they just, picked him early with one of those picks that they had, when they were compiling picks. And it seemed like he was going to be their future, seeing as much as they moved on from Ryan Fitzpatrick, which he played well for them the previous year, and they were comfortable with that veteran leaving and say, now this is Tua's team.
Right.
But then always having that lingering thing out there like, but they're still going to get Deshaun Watson. And, You know what I mean? So it's kind of messed up altogether. But I think he would make an impact on this team and help them out, definitely. But I still think they still have some other things to work out. So I don't think that it's like a game changer for the Dolphins that turn things around for them.
It's definitely going to be an improvement from the quarterback that they have right now. But I think it would be a mistake in the sense of, since they drafted Tua and they invested that draft pick on him, you got to see what he can develop to be. You know what I mean? Like right now, it seems like they're giving up on him after 1 year, way too soon. And because of that, now you got Tua thinking to himself like, hey, what the hell? Like, listen, and so that doesn't put a whole lot of confidence in me. That doesn't make me feel good. And why should I work my tail off like I have been to be the best I can be for this franchise? If you're just going to like bench me, because right now we heard reports out of Houston, if this was going to happen with Miami, and believe me and you, Deshaun Watson has the say, the end-all be-all say here. He has a no-trade clause in his contract, so it's up to him what team he goes to. And right now, Miami's at the top of his list. That's the most interest he has in. And it sounds like they're the only team right now that they're talking to. But if this was to all go and happen, it sounds like Houston doesn't even want Tua as part of the trade. They like Davis Mills right now and what he's been able to do for the Houston Texans in a short window. They don't even want Tua part of the trade, which is surprising. I figured that's kind of what the thing would be. But it sounds like they're comfortable with their guy, Davis Mills. And, hey, he's shown flashes for Houston on how well he could be. So let's see how this all shakes out. And, in the end, me and Jim both think that, Deshaun Watson is going to stay with Houston under contract until the offseason.
All right, next up, we've got Urban Meyer is a one-and-done head coach, Joe. Trick or treat?
That's got to be a treat. I mean, what the hell is this guy doing? And what he's not even done with the whole season, and he's already been mixed into, off the field issues. He's been having issues with his own team inside the locker room. The players don't like his coaching, philosophy. They don't like how he handles himself. I mean, listen, there's a lot of problems circulating throughout that facility in Jacksonville, and wow, it is unbelievable on how much it has been chaotic in Jacksonville for this franchise. They get the big pick in Trevor Lawrence, and they get his companion at running back, and then he goes out for the season, and then all of a sudden you got Trevor Lawrence struggling early on in the season, and then Urban Meyer takes it upon himself to have some off-the-field issues, we'll just say, that doesn't bode well for himself or the organization. And now you have even more issues going forward. DJ Chark is now out for the season. They lose their number one receiver for the year. And this team is going through a lot of speed bumps right now this season. So it doesn't look bright for sure for Urban Meyer, and we could easily see him being let go as the season ends, and maybe Jacksonville goes and actually finds a legitimate NFL coach.
Mm-hmm.
Just do it!
Yeah, I know. I didn't like the hire altogether, so I was kind of praying for all this to happen the way it's been happening, and it's been very entertaining to watch for me on the outside looking in.
Of course, you're a Michigan fan.
Yeah, absolutely. So I mean, this is spectacular. I love it. He's just even stepping into his own pile of shit that he's doing for himself too, as well.
Here's the thing that kind of confused me on the hiring is that Urban Meyer left the game of college because of his health issues as a head coach, of the stress level and the blood pressure and all that. Mm-hmm. And now he's willing to come to the NFL, which is like times 10, in the NFL. So I don't know how much longer he's going to last health-wise or with the situations that he's going through. But, yeah, it can't be very long. It's got to be by the end of the year.
Well, it seems like stuff that was going on in college is still carrying on now, like during the NFL season now. It seems like he's not getting over that whole thing, and that's a problem that I think that a lot of people had with college football and the things that go on with, getting players, getting hookers for players and things like that, and all this other stuff that's been going on, nonsense with some of these colleges and teams. Now you're seeing like this guy is a head coach for this stuff, and these circumstances at the bar that happened and things, and then you look back at his past and checkered like hirings of some people, that the one guy that was abusive to his wife and things. So a lot of nonsense, and it's things for the Jacksonville Jaguars, because that's what they want to do. They want to turn the page. They get Trevor Lawrence, and it stinks that they've got this guy trying to develop him here, and it doesn't seem like it's really working out for them. But Trevor Lawrence, I think, is doing good on his own, just getting there. It's just taking a little longer, I think, than some people kind of expected, because you hear the hype. You hear Trevor Lawrence like, oh, this guy's going to be gold right out of the box. And then you open it up, and you're kind of like, whoa, he's got some interceptions, and whoa, he's making mistakes. Like, well, what the hell's going on?
It's called being a rookie.
Yeah, it is. That's part of it. Like, again, we've seen Peyton Manning as a rookie, too, and that didn't look so pretty as well either. So, all right, next up, we've got the Bengals are a true contender, Joe. What do you think, Trick? Or is it a treat?
It's a treat.
Boom,
it's got to be a treat. Listen, the Bengals are proving to a lot of people, a lot of naysayers, that they are for real. Even though they're young, even though Joe Burrow's coming off a major injury this season, listen, they got their chips in place to compete for this division, and they just beat the number one seed in this division in Baltimore Ravens. So that's got to prove something to you out there, that the Bengals are here and they're here for real. So they are going to compete for this division. They just beat the Ravens, and let's see what they can do moving forward, especially as they've been injured on the offensive line for several weeks, and they've still been battling. They've still been getting some wins here and there. So now that as they start to get healthier, as week by week they go, they're starting to develop into quite a team to contend with.
All right, next up now we've got the Cowboys are the best team in football, Joe. What do you think? Is that a trick or is that a treat?
I think that's a little bit of a trick. I mean, here's the thing: is we're halfway through the season, and don't get me wrong, the Cowboys, I don't think they're they're just a slouch of a team. They're a really good team right now. They've proven a lot to us. We already knew that offense was going to be like a juggernaut, right? Like, we had questions about the offensive line. Are they going to be able to sustain health as they go week to week? Can they protect Dak Prescott? But this offense has been a beast for sure. Defensively, quite surprising. We thought that this Cowboys defense was going to struggle a little bit more than it has, and Trayvon Diggs has been playing very well for them. They got Micah Parsons, but they're using him wrong right now. And even though they're missing DeMarcus Lawrence right now, they still are competitive on that defensive side. So the Cowboys are a really good team, but I wouldn't say the best team in football.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
There you go. Yeah, again, I agree with you there too as well. I think that's a trick too, because
and here's yeah,
because that's what I mean. I think the offense is what we thought it was going to be. I think they're pretty explosive. You just wanted them all to stay healthy and do what they do here, especially with Dak Prescott. But the defense, they are playing better than what I thought they were going to do, which is hands off there.
Right.
But also, like what you said, they made a change for some reason. Why are you changing what you were doing before that was working?
Yeah.
And now you're messing with things, which I don't think is a great idea. And the fact that Trayvon Diggs, everybody's got so much love for him, I'd stifle on that too at this point too right now, because he's still developing and getting better at what, but he needs to get better at man coverage because he gets blown all together and just opportunistic on those turnovers. All right, next here we've got Matt Nagy will lose his job after this season. Joe, what do you think? Trick or treat?
It's a treat.
It's
has
a treat.
to be.
We love it.
I mean, come on. This guy is still around. How is Chicago's organization still putting up with this guy? I mean, now that they traded up nonetheless and drafted their hopeful franchise quarterback going forward. But that shouldn't mean that you give Nagy a pass again and say, hey, well, let's further develop this quarterback and see where we go. Listen, this guy's had multiple years as the head coach. You haven't really noticed any kind of progression. It's been a stalemate. They've been on a nosedive, and they're just not competitive in this division or the league for that matter. So, Matt Nagy, it's time to go, bro.
And then, it came out now, too, I think, in Chicago news that it was Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy tied together in this whole thing. Like, both these guys are out. But now it's kind of like, well, one can leave and the other could stay still. So it looks like they're either believing in Ryan Pace now and they like what he did. And maybe it was his idea to go out and get Justin Fields, so they liked that idea. And they're out on Matt Nagy because of the way things are happening during the game, how he was even against that whole Justin Fields switch over, die hard, we've got to do, Andy Dalton and things like that.
Yeah.
So, and the way the offense, he was here to show that Andy Reid type of offense and explosiveness, and it looked like we saw it early on, but then since then, I don't know what the hell's been going on, man. He's had some of the great players to utilize to do some of those things, and it's gotten worse.
And that's the thing, too, is Ryan Pace, I think he's done a phenomenal job for Chicago. He's brought in talent. Listen, he had to talk Allen Robinson into coming back, signing that one-year tag. Listen, after this year, Allen Robinson is out. He's going to another team. He didn't even want to come back this year. And because maybe Robinson could see the writing on the wall that they're rebuilding. They draft a quarterback. They're going to have another new quarterback in place. You know what I mean? And so on and so forth. Their offensive line is in shambles. Their weapons, they just don't have enough. So he said, I'm out after this year. So they got a one-year rental on Allen Robinson. He's gone. Now what's going to happen going forward? This defense, as good as they are talent-wise, they're just not playing up to snuff because this offense doesn't put up enough points, doesn't give them enough rest. So all in all, listen, sorry, Nagy's got to go bye-bye.
Yeah, absolutely. Mike Tackett's in the house.
What does he say?
Says here's kind of a trick or treat for you, Joe.
All right, what we got?
Gruden says Snyder will be out as owner of Washington football team in the coming weeks. With rumors that he wants to own a team, what are the chances Elon Musk buys the Washington franchise?
That would be amazing. First of all. Second of all, that scenario with Dan Snyder has already started to happen. As of right now, it sounds like Snyder is passing off the team. Get this. You're going to love this one, Mike. To his wife, Tanya Snyder. She is now the day-to-day operations for the Washington football team. And we all know that's bullshit. Right? Like, how does the NFL not see through this?
Execute Order
It's
66.
Dan Snyder basically dictating to Tanya what he wants done, and then she just follows through with it.
It's like putting it in her name so his credit is good. Like when you change things like that,
Exactly.
like an account and stuff like that. It's
So
like,
I mean,
to be safe.
Come on, Goodell, come on, NFL, wake up! You gotta make it to where Washington's franchise is out of that family's hands altogether. That's what I'm saying, Will.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I know. And Elon Musk, why not? You don't have to exactly know football to own a team.
No, you don't.
And he's got the money for it. Why not? And if I like decisions he makes all together as,
very smart guy.
Smart guy. Exactly. He's getting the space, industry going to as well. So
right.
I think why not? I
But
think
here's
they
the
need
thing-
something like this.
but
It's
here's
one
the-
of those new type of tech owners too that everybody's been talking about. New money, not so much the good old boys.
But here's the thing with Elon Musk is, if he did take over the ownership of Washington, I feel like this organization would get better and not be so stagnant. Because Dan Snyder, he's kind of like Jerry Jones, but he's just really bad at being an owner. Like he wants his hands in everything and wants to take certain guys or sign certain players, but it never works out because why? He's not a football mind, but he likes to be involved. Whereas Elon Musk, I feel like he would do the research. He would research on certain coaches that are good, bright minds, and so forth, and hire the right guys and let them do their job, rather than have his hands in the middle of it all.
Oh yeah, and can you even imagine maybe what they do with that stadium too? They try to make it more efficient.
He would make
and
it
stuff
all
like that,
electric.
like
It'd be
electric
solar
and
powered.
solar.
It'd be all electric. They'd
have a rocket like at the end, that shoots into space.
You got SpaceX
Imagine-
on the corner,
yeah,
south
SpaceX,
end of the field.
Right, he's giving out rides as you go. Here you go. How about he fires? He's gonna fire their next coach, and he's like, I'm gonna send you out on the rocket now, off to the moon. That's right. Get the hell out of here.
Every time.
You're right, Joe. I was the one to do it. I hit it.
Every time the Washington football team
hate
gets a
starting place
win,
on fire.
a lucky fan gets a Tesla.
Yeah, right. Yeah, how about that? That'd be awesome too. Why not? Sounds good.
I like
All
it.
right, here we go. Next, we got a couple more here for our trick or treat, and that is here we got the Chiefs. Will miss the playoffs this year. What do you think
Ooh.
about that, Joe? Will the Chiefs miss the
Ooh.
playoffs? They're have a losing record right now. I think they're
They do.
3-4.
3-4, yeah.
But that division's still kind of tight right now. I think the leaders are your Raiders here at 5-2, and the Chargers there as well.
Yeah,
And-
Chargers get the tiebreaker over the Raiders because they beat them.
mhm.
So technically, I would say the Chargers are in first.
Mm-hmm.
But Chiefs, wow. Did we ever think before the season started that we would have this conversation right now about the Chiefs? I don't think so. This is interesting because right now they're 3-4. They're almost 500. I wouldn't say they're out of it just yet. They could still storm back after they figure a few things out, but I'll say it's a little bit of a trick. Maybe Andy Reid is playing games with us right now and just saying, "Oh wow, look at the Chiefs," and then he just wants to make a dramatic comeback and take the division. So the Chiefs, will they miss the playoffs? I can't count them out right now. I think it's a little bit of a trick.
Well, well, it's tough because I would say it's a trick too as
Is
well,
it?
just because. Well, that AFC, I've talked about it with you before. The AFC is so close right now. All those the records are right there, looming over 500 and things like that.
Only the top two teams, the Chargers and Raiders, are going to be. I think did the Chargers have a bye week last week or was it?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah,
they
so
did.
they're 4-2 still. Raiders are 5-2.
Yeah,
So they're
yeah.
the only winning teams right now in that division.
Right. But I'm saying in the AFC altogether, I think that the pool for wild card teams is going to be right in the middle. I think there's a greater chance to possibly make that wild card spot, still to hop in on that within the AFC, and I think not so much on the NFC. I think some of those top teams, they're really pulling away from some of the other ones out there. Like you're not getting another wild card team out of the NFC East. You might out of the South.
Depends on records.
And I don't think you're getting. Maybe you're getting two teams out of the West. Because you got the Cardinals and the Rams there. But I
Yeah.
think the 49ers and the Seahawks are dead in the water,
Yep.
like we kind of thought before the season.
Mhm.
But then, other than that, you've got still the Bears and the Lions at the end of the North Division. So I think that the NFC is going to be pretty hard for these other teams to bounce back and jump in. So I think the
definitely.
AFC, it's so muddied right there. I think they still have a legit chance. And thinking about it, again, in the Chiefs, we talked about this the past couple of seasons, and it just popped in my head again. The fact that we've seen this team really come out of games lethargic and kind of have that offensive firepower to get back into the game and be able to score at will.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen them kind of get stopped for like a half or so, but then be able to do something
And
and
in
get
like
back
one
into
quarter,
it,
they
right?
light it
like,
up.
yeah, they start getting – and they're not able to do that this season.
So far.
And that's why you're kind of seeing that they don't have that extra gear because they can't muster it up.
So
and-
far,
and
I mean,
dig it out
because
of there.
to be honest, they're becoming one-dimensional.
Right.
And part of it is them doing it themselves. We noticed them this year more than any other year. They're not even using the running back at all. Like, even if Clyde Edwards-Helaire was still there, he never got the ball hardly at all. He got like 5 touches all game. It's like, wait a second.
Right.
This is not the offense we are used to. They used to mix it up every once in a while, but predominantly a passing team, but they would mix it up a little bit with that running game. Now we're not seeing that. I don't know if that's a combination of them falling behind early and now they feel like they got to catch up quickly, or if it's just their offensive philosophies have changed this year. I don't know what it is, but it's not working out.
All right, here, lastly now we've got, for Trick or Treat, Trey Lance will be the starter when he's healthy for the 49ers, Joe. What do you think?
I mean, come on. I mean, we've seen Jimmy G long enough. We've seen what he can do. Listen, predominantly a game manager. He worked well with them, and that was what they had left. You know, when they made that trade to get Jimmy G, and they're like, okay, we can win with him. And they did. They did a fairly good job. However, he just can't stay healthy, you know. And even this year, he's been banged up. He's missed some time. He just recently came back last week and didn't play that well. And we saw flashes with Trey Lance before his injury of him starting to take over a bigger role in that offense and actually started playing better. This offense started to get better with Trey Lance involved. I look for Trey Lance to come back from injury, and I feel like it's only a matter of time till Trey Lance takes over, especially as they fall further and further down that division. It's almost like a lock to just jump in, give Trey Lance the football, and let him rock out the rest of the season. Let's see what he can do. I totally believe this. It's definitely a treat for sure.
All right, there you go. So that is our trick or treat. That's right, for our Halloween special. That's right, Joe. Keeping it real here, man. It's been a long time since we played that. You know, we do it annually here for Trick or Treat.
Yeah,
I always get amped up
year.
for Trick or Treat.
It's been about a year.
Those are statements that have been said out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I mean, let's look forward and see what happens. We were looking back at some of the ones from last year, and it's funny how a lot of them came to fruition and came true.
Yeah.
And we were one of them about the Browns. Are like, Brown are the most disappointing team this season. And then I look back at this season, I'm like, oh, that might be a good one to use this year even too. But they've got a bunch of different issues. Again, injuries. Like you want to look at injuries. I mean, we were thinking about having just the injuries scroll amongst the screen for all teams this season, just to see how many there were. I mean, you can keep it going. It's a laundry list. Yeah. How many teams are just riddled with injuries and things like that. And that's a big problem. And that's part of why some of these records are the way they are, Joe. And that's why we've said, when I was talking about the Cowboys, why they're, I think, in first place too and doing well. I think the Packers too have been able to kind of stay fairly healthy, mostly. And just key players have been able to go down, but now Devontae Adams down, and that's a big problem now for them. And that's where we're seeing that they'll probably lose this week.
And that's the thing too, is you good teams, the really good teams, no matter what happens to them, they always try to find a way to win, right? Listen, the Packers have been winning without David Bakhtiari, their number one left tackle. And kudos to them to have depth behind him to still keep them upright, still keep Aaron Rodgers upright and keep it going. But I mean, this week is going to be another challenge. I mean, I feel like I think David Bakhtiari is coming back. Maybe Mike can help us out with that one. He's our Green Bay Packer insider. Maybe he can help us out with that. I think David Bakhtiari is going to be back this week, so that's going to be a big time.
I know he was back practicing. So
then, but Devontae Adams is out. So they get one, they lose one. So let's see how they can group up together tomorrow night and see what they can do against this winning, an undefeated Arizona Cardinals team.
Yeah, absolutely. So right now I'm going to take time to thank our sponsors out there, everybody out there, Johnstone Supply and Colorize and Buck Environmental Solutions out there too. Do you know Buck Environmental Solutions, they are up for another award for being best local business again too in their local area down near Monticello again. So they could win back-to-back possibly this year. So everybody out there start voting for them again.
Congratulations.
Nothing but the best here for Football in the Know.
That's it.
When you talk about nothing but the best.
We only deal with the best sponsors out there, just
absolutely.
so you all know.
Absolutely. When you talk about the best, you're talking about Mohawk Honda. That's right. On Freeman's Bridge Road. And right now, take advantage of the KBB ICO. Now, what the hell is the KBB ICO? Yes, Jim, what the hell is that?
Jim,
It's
what
a
the hell is that?
The Kelly Blue Book instant cash offer, Joe. That means when you go in there and you want to trade in your vehicle, they will cut you a check right there and pay you right on the spot.
Really?
Right there. So it's evaluated. This is about how much it's worth.
Wow.
We'll give you top dollar for it, whatever KBB Kelly Blue Book says. Boom, we'll give you that offer. Boom, there it is. Here you go. Walk away. Or you can just trade it in on a vehicle too. There's plenty of pre-owns out there on the lot. There's acres and acres of
Why would you go anywhere else?
Cars out there. Yeah, absolutely. Certified pre-owned Hondas, pre-loved Hondas. They're not used cars. They're pre-loved and pre-owned, Joe.
That's right, baby.
And they take care of you there. They go out of their way to please you. They treat you like family. You got to go in and say hi to Greg Johnson out there, the assistant manager. And also Jake Hot Sauce Doyle. Hot Sauce.
There we go.
I don't know this guy, but I got to go down there and meet him because I got to say, how the hell did you get this Hot Sauce?
I just want to go down there and just say hot sauce and see if he answers.
Yo, Hot Sauce. Yo, and then you guys say, yo, VIP man. VIP. And when you say VIP man, you're talking about Luis Morales out there. And you got other, Cam McKenna out there too, helping you out, all their sales professionals. Do whatever it takes to help you out there, get you not even the car that you think you could afford, but the car that you deserve to, that you're going to drive out of there and love this thing. And even afterwards, you need oil changes, blah, blah, blah. They'll let you know, and then just bring it back to them, and they'll take care of you, man. Absolutely. It's going to be a wonderful experience, not a hassle for you. So check them out there, Freeman's Ridge Road.
Excellent.
In Scotia Glenville, Mohawk Honda, where they go out of their way to please you, Joe. Absolutely.
Yes,
Mohawk
yes.
Honda.
All right.
So now it's the picks competition. I know Mike
here we go.
Tackett's super excited about the picks competition.
Yeah, he's all about it.
He's getting all involved in this one.
He's all about it.
And it's still tough. You're still kicking the shit out of me right here. We got
I wouldn't say
still
that.
right there. It's there. But it's 77-32, 72-37 on the opposite side here. But
Wow.
There's a lot
Hold
of
up.
games left over here.
We
I
got
know,
some
there's
breaking news.
I got to hit the
Breaking
breaking
news.
news signs here. We
Mike
go. Gotta get it.
Tackett
Mike
with the
Tackett.
breaking news. Our on the sidelines reporter has just talked to us and told us in our headsets that breaking news from Adam Schefter, the Cardinals defensive end J.J. Watt will undergo what is now likely to be season-ending shoulder surgery. Sources tell ESPN. No date set yet for surgery. Watt hurt his shoulder in the second quarter Sunday and still managed to play the rest of the game like a boss because he is a soldier with that injury. Wow. We heard that he was definitely going to be out for this Thursday night, tomorrow night. But wow, this is big-time news. Now that it looks like they're going to be missing him for the rest of the year, and he was having a pretty good season, too, with the Cardinals.
Yeah, that guy can't catch a break, can he? It's just he gets so many injuries.
I mean, think
all
about
the
it.
time,
We
over and
already
over
know,
again.
like, he's older now. It seems to be happening every single season for him. It's not really a surprise. It would have been a surprise if he stayed healthy all year. But
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
It was just kind of, let's see how long he can last, And now, bad news for the Cardinals, good news for opponents.
Yeah.
But, there you have it.
And he was just saying, too, he was just getting into the motion of things, too, getting used to everything, the system and everything, and it stinks to see that happen. But that's right. It's the week's week 8 picks competition right now, Joe. We already did Thursday night's game, which that should be a really exciting game.
That's going to be an awesome game to watch.
That's going to be a good one because lately they've been kind of stinkers.
It quite honestly could be a shootout. I mean, I know the Cardinals' defense is lighting it up right now, and they're playing really well. Great, consummate football with the offense, and collectively just playing balls out. But Green Bay's not a slouch. Green Bay is a legitimate team that is just not going to give away a win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So let's get right into Sunday's games here. We've got the Carolina Panthers at the Atlanta Falcons. Now, all of a sudden, this game looks a lot closer than it probably would have been a few weeks ago.
Right.
Atlanta, in a close game there against the Miami Dolphins, barely sheds it out there with the last remaining seconds to kick the field goal to take the victory there in a hard-fought game. Yep. They're sitting there at 3-3, and now the Carolina Panthers now. They've lost 3 straight, and now they're at 3-4, and they had benched Sam Darnold. Can't really get anything going here on offense, despite, again, Chuba Hubbard's been running fairly well. He's been getting almost 100 yards, I think, a game just about. I mean, they've been able to get that going. but something seems out of sync again, I think, with this team. The receivers, I think they seem kind of disinterested a little bit, but the drops are there. So, I mean, what's going on? You know, they just can't get in sync and get it going here. And now you're facing an Atlanta Falcons team that's starting to build a little bit of momentum for themselves.
Yeah, I mean, this game right here, this is where I feel like, you know, Carolina's been losing a couple of weeks. I feel like this is going to be a bounce-back game for them, going up against Atlanta, a weaker defensive opponent, an opponent that has struggled early on this season in terms of offense, but now seems to start to be catching some positive yards with Matt Ryan throwing to Kyle Pitts at tight end. Russell Gage kind of woke up last week, remembered that he does play football in the NFL, and Calvin Ridley was back last week, so that was another jump start to that offense. But in the end, I think Carolina is going to, you know, regroup. They're going to come in to Atlanta, and they'll be able to come away with a win.
All right, here we go. Yeah, I mean, I think that would be really interesting. I really want to go with Carolina, but I don't know. I might play the hot hand to try and get another win back on you here. So I think I'm gonna go with Atlanta for now, but I might test it out, see how they look the week before or the day before, and maybe switch it up. But I'm gonna go with Atlanta right now. All right, here we go. We got the I don't know. I'm feeling it. I don't know. Again, Carolina, they seem vulnerable to me, but I would like to see. Yes, yeah, it looks like they could bounce back, especially against Atlanta. But now I'm looking at them. I'm like, I'm still confused on their identity here. Like, they will obviously like to use Cordarrelle Patterson a lot, you know, within the run game as their main running back, but then also receiving. But they are getting now they figured out, let's get Kyle Pitts more involved. That's got to be our go-to guy, and then you can open it up to get it down to Calvin Ridley and like Russell Gage, like we thought they might be able to do early on in the season. It just seemed like they took forever to try and figure that out.
The one thing that I'll say, though, is Carolina matches up extremely well against Atlanta's offense. Shaq Thompson, if he does have to, he's a very mobile linebacker. So I feel like they'll probably line him up against Kyle Pitts to play coverage there. But all in all, I think it's going to be a good game. But who knows? Comes out with the win at the end.
All right. Next, we've got the Miami Dolphins at the Buffalo Bills, and I think again, when we first started off the season, you would think that this would have been a cool match.
This would have been a good,
nice marquee matchup here between divisional rivals. Yeah. But with the dismay that the Miami Dolphins have kind of been in, and now also the headlines that they're still looking into Deshaun Watson and Tua not looking spectacular, it seems like. Yeah, well, when all else fails, it's just, I know injuries play into it because, again, Mike Gesicki, boom, 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 boom. That's all I see. That's what I got to do. Buffalo at home, they're strong. I know Lady Bills is probably going to be there. She's going to be amped up for this game. You know, she's going to be hating on them Dolphins out there. I like the Buffalo Bills coming off that bye week just to come out here and perform.
Yeah, I mean, do you smell that aroma? Smells like fish sticks are going to get fried. So the Dolphins, I think they're going to get scorched by the Buffalo Bills this week. Bills have been playing lights-out football week to week. Even when they do lose, they are still in it. And this, as great as this defense has been playing, this offense has been even hotter. And against a division rival, why not? Why not unload on these guys? Miami Dolphins coming to town to Buffalo. I don't have too much confidence in Miami anymore. I've seen way too many problems versus solutions. Listen, for the past couple of weeks, they haven't had their full scope of receivers available to them, and it's shown. Jalen Waddle, the rookie, has been lighting it up this past week because he's the only guy that they can throw to, besides Mike Gesicki. But coming into this week, maybe they get another weapon back in Devontae Parker. Maybe that can help them out a little bit, but not enough. I got the Bills.
All right, next up we've got the San Francisco 49ers and the Chicago
Another
Bears.
Great game.
Oh, man. I'm glad these ones are early on, and you know, maybe they saved some of these better ones for the late games and stuff. But the Chicago Bears, again, you know, getting shellacked. You've got the San Francisco 49ers that played tough kind of against the sloppy, actually, football against the Colts. Excuse me. And really, I think the Colts really could have really took it to them even more in that game.
Oh, they could have.
Because they were in scoring position so many times, too. And they could have really did a number on them. Man, This is a tough one. I might go with Chicago because they're even at home. They play better there, and I think San Francisco might be just trying to find themselves still. I might ride with Chicago, but I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, 49ers, listen, I think their defense has struggled despite having kind of the same players back this season. DeMeco Ryans as their D coordinator is showing that he's not as good as Robert Saleh at all in the way he calls defense. Offensively, like we said before, Jimmy G is just the game manager, the guy who's just kind of keeping the seat warm, waiting for Trey Lance to get healthy. And until that happens, I don't think this offense for the 49ers is going to have very much firepower. Chicago, as up and down as they have been, they are home this week. I feel like that the Bears, in the end, I feel like there's going to be a low-scoring game in Chicago because they're home. They're going to have just enough gusto to get the win in the end.
All right, there you go. Joe's going with the Bears as well. We've got Instacam in the house with us tonight.
Hello. What's going on, Instacam?
Hi, guys. Hi, Instacam.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show, absolutely. Hey, if you got anything you want to say out there, let us know in the comments. Talk about a lot of things out there, horror movies too as well, but right now we're doing our Week 8 picks. If you want to play along, pick along with us, go ahead.
Absolutely.
Pleasure having you on there
by the
watching
way,
us from YouTube.
thanks for stopping by. If you could do us a huge favor and subscribe to us, that'd be fantastic.
Absolutely.
But thanks for showing up
if you haven't already.
and be a part of the conversation here.
Yeah, absolutely. Here we go. Now we've got the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Cleveland Browns. Is Case Keenum going to be playing in this game? He probably is, isn't he? He's going to be the starter for a bit, right? Or
Yeah. I would listen. So Baker Mayfield, he had a press conference past couple of days. I forgot whether it was yesterday or today. But a reporter asked him, like, could you play this week? He said, absolutely. That was his answer.
Yep.
Okay, you can play, but are you going to play? You know what I mean? So I think if you're Cleveland, you got to be smart with this injury that he has and maybe rest him again. Definitely. Listen, with the way Case Keenum played as the starter, did a remarkable job. It made all the throws that he needed to make. They were able to run the football like normal, even though they didn't have Kareem Hunt or Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb does return this week, so they'll at least have him. And the Cleveland's defense has been mostly down this season, despite having all their players pretty healthy for the most part. They haven't been as dominant as you would hope they would be as a Browns fan. And Pittsburgh, week to week, we don't know what to expect from this team. Offensively, they've kind of been spitting and sputtering with Big Ben at the helm, and it's been all the pressure has been on the Steelers' defense, to sustain, to keep them in the game type of deal. So, this is a tough one with the Browns being home, with even with Case Keenum being there. I think Nick Chubb is a big addition back to this football team. I'm going to go with Cleveland just because they're home. Because both these teams, you don't know what to expect. I'm going Cleveland at home with this one.
Yeah, I see you checking your phone now. I forgot Mike Tackett had already put in his picks. Now you got Mike Tackett's picks in there that you're checking out?
Thursday night he has the Cardinals, not his Packers. Thursday night. He has the Falcons at home taking the win.
Okay.
Against Miami, right? Yeah.
No, Carolina.
Or Carolina.
Yeah.
He's got the Bills winning, of course. He has the Bears winning at home.
He's with us
and
on that one.
And he has the Browns winning.
The Browns winning
against Pittsburgh.
Again, and when you take a look at that last game, I know everybody wants to say, Case Keenum played great. I don't think it's altogether that. I mean, I think he played efficient football. And I think it was
that's
great.
Already better than Baker.
But it was good having Jarvis Landry back though too. You know what I mean? Having him back there
for like half the game.
No, he was in there most of the game. He was getting
got
catches
injured,
in the end.
He left. Yeah, he got injured. He left.
But
then he came back.
But basically, if you looked at the amount of running that they did, they just ran the ball most of the time because they didn't have to throw it.
That's their offense.
Well, exactly. But I'm just saying it to say that he's played spectacular. He did all this other stuff. He handed the ball off. The running game was working, so they just stayed with that and rolled with that.
And then when they needed to throw,
he did not
he made
force
them.
turnovers. But when he was getting when it was pass plays, he was getting pressured, and he almost had a couple of bad turnovers. It was pretty close that it could have been game could have went opposite end on him real quick. But again, pulled out a win. I think it might be enough to take out the Steelers though too, just because you and I have discussed now. Take a look at this perspective. We might take a look back at the draft, how we look at it after 3 years, people get drafted here. I think we might look at this Najee Harris draft pick like what the people are looking at the Saquon Barkley pick for the New York Giants. You had some offensive linemen there. You would have thought that maybe that the Steelers would have went offensive line for this, and they go running back. And you're kind of like, some people, analysts are like, oh, this is an amazing freaking pick. Oh, my goodness, this is great. This is going to help everything. It's going to solve everything. But Joe and I are kind of like, yeah, that's good. But what
it's
the
a
hell?
great pick for that selection.
But you really needed to
offensive
help
line,
because now look what you're suffering with right now. Ben is getting rushed, and he's not that old, stand tall, big Ben anymore. He's old, crippled Ben to where he's making dumb mistakes again and not very mobile at all. He just stands there and takes hits. It's tough for them, and I think Cleveland, they have enough getting Nick Chubb back as well. I think this is definitely good for them. I'm going to go with the Cleveland Browns as well with this one.
The other thing I worry about Big Ben in this one is the pass rush for Cleveland, like their defensive ends. Listen, Jadeveon Clowney actually has a couple of sacks this year, unlike last year having 0. And you team him up with Myles Garrett on the opposite end. They're going to wreak some havoc against this Steelers offense.
And I got to note, too, that one play where Greedy Williams made a great play here in the corner position, too, where I forget who the receiver was at that point.
I think it was Chase Claypool.
No, they're playing Chase Claypool now, but I think it was like last game that they played. The guy had pretty much a catch. He just had to get his other foot down, and he kind of stuck with him.
Sutton?
Yeah, Cortland Sutton, I think it was, and he wasn't able to get his foot back in, and he drove him out of bounds still, was able to save that play, because that would have been a big chunk play and get that ball moving forward, and that would have been big for the Broncos to come back and get back into that game, but made a big play there in the corner position for them. All right, the Philadelphia Eagles now and the Detroit Lions. Can the Lions get their first win right here?
I know, right?
At home against the Philadelphia Eagles, to where Joe and I have talked about this a bunch of times, to where they just look like they're running a high school offense around there. We're not sure what's going on. Jalen Hurts missing some wide open guys here. Making some plays with his legs, which is fine and all, but it kind of seems like it's all makeshift as he goes. It's like, oh wow, he got the first down, all right, but what's next? Is he going to complete a pass, or is he going to take off running again?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It seems like it's like 1, 2, it's not there. I'm taking off.
Here's something about this game that was so. This past week, the Eagles played the Raiders, and as I'm watching the game, I noticed something. I really don't like this coaching staff for the Eagles. I wasn't a fan of Nick Sirianni's, hire when he did get hired before the season, and I'm still not a fan of him and his coaching staff, because what I noticed is that the defensive coordinator for the Eagles, he plays this 2 deep safety zone coverage that doesn't really work, and he keeps it the same throughout the whole game. There's not a whole lot of adjustments being made, and offenses just pick it apart. They just wait for the receivers to get to the open zone, open parts of the field in the zone, and just kind of sit in there, and quarterbacks are able to complete easy passes. And then Philadelphia offensively, it's like Jalen Hurts either rushes for a lot of yards, or they don't win, or they don't even, or are not even competitive. This offense is stuck in a rut. They don't run the football. They rely too much on Hurts to move the ball with his legs, and when he has enough time, be able to deliver the football to some open receivers, and it's just not a good way to win games. Detroit Lions, listen, they fought hard. Every single week, it seems like they're always in the games, whether they're behind and they got to fight back, or if they're just going hand in hand throughout the game. But they're a contending team. They're definitely a difficult team to kind of beat. I don't know what to expect in this one. The Philadelphia Eagles, they're coming into Detroit. I kind of like the Detroit Lions in this one. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like they've been competitive against any team they faced, no matter how good they were. And in this week, I feel like the Lions are going to finally get a win.
All right, Joe's in here on the Lions. Something tells me I should go Philadelphia here on this one, just to get maybe a win back here, because I think Philadelphia plays good enough that they could still beat the Lions because, again, the Lions just haven't been able to muster it all together. They've been really competitive with a lot of good teams, a lot of close games as well. Except last game, it kind of got out of hand. But I mean, you played the Rams, so it was a tough out. It was tough to compete against them. But who knows? But who does Mike Tackett have for this one?
Mike has. Did
he take the Lions?
He took the Browns in the last game,
Browns.
and then this game he has the Eagles.
Man, this is gonna be close because I even like Philadelphia's front, but I don't like their
I don't like anything else
secondary.
they got.
Yeah,
Their linebackers are absolutely terrible.
I'm going to go with Philadelphia for now, just to be different. Why not? What the hell? I'm in a hole now, so you know what? I'm already planning on drinking at the end of the year, so we'll see what happens. Maybe I can bounce back. Well, this is one of those muddy weeks. I could be really freaking bad or whatever.
I'll help you get back into this.
Well, who knows? Let's give the people what they want here. All right, Tennessee Titans now and the Indianapolis Colts, Joe. Tennessee, they're high right now. They're rocking and rolling. And last week, you would thought too, like when we said, maybe for this game to get it going, they needed to control the clock and get it going with Derrick Henry again. That's their whole, scheme or whatever. Yep. But it was a little different than that. I don't think they really needed a whole lot of Derrick Henry out there, and they did it in the passing game. They were able to actually get it done through the passing game, and Ryan Tannehill not making a whole lot of mistakes. And they really surprised people, I think, in that one. Some people, I'm sure, but really took it to the Chiefs on that one. Really exposed how bad it's like. Maybe they saw this and said, "Hey, this secondary of this Chiefs is just so bad. I don't think we need to run against this team so much. Let's air it out, and that'll get us our points here." And really just took it to them.
You're right.
All right, excellent.
I thought you were going to finish talking about the Colts.
Well, the Colts, again, I think they're only as good as what Carson Wentz is going to play. You know what I'm saying? Because that's when turnovers happen. That's when he can still make some of those bigger plays. You saw some of the passes he was getting to, Paris Campbell and some others out there. Michael Pittman had a big play in that last game. But, again, some people blame the weather here and there, but Carson Wentz doing those bonehead mistakes. And I don't think I really see Ryan Tannehill making mistakes like that here. Even though Indianapolis is here at home, I think I'm going to go with the Tennessee Titans on this one.
Yeah, the Titans have been, up and down this season. I'm not still 100% sure on what kind of defense they got going on there. They're also in flux. The Colts, they're the same way. Both these teams are kind of mirror images of each other. We don't know if they're going to ascend or descend in this division. And this is a divisional game. This is a game that both teams need to stay above one another. I don't like what I see in the Colts. I feel like if the Tennessee Titans defense can plan to try to stop Jonathan Taylor, then that's the game. I feel like that's going to be the deciding factor. The Colts are going to have a hell of a time trying to stop Derrick Henry and this Tennessee offense. I'm going to go Tennessee.
All right, here we go.
And Mike goes Titans as well.
Mike goes Titans as well. All right, Cincinnati Bengals and the New York Jets. All right, the Jets have been looking really bad.
There you go.
Yeah, Joe's going
Listen,
Bengals.
They don't have Zach Wilson. They got Mike White. That's right. Who the hell's Mike White? We don't know, but we're going to see on Sunday.
We're going to find out what he is.
So I mean, listen, with a beat up offensive line, with who knows? Let's just see what the Jets can muster up this Sunday against a Bengals team that's on the rise. You gotta love Cincinnati this week.
Absolutely, yeah, I'm gonna agree with you just on that one as well. All right, the Houston Texans. Some of these other ones now seem a little easier. Texans again, they have put up a valiant fight for some of the games here. I still again feel bad for Davis Mills because I think he's been playing fairly well despite running for his life. But Rams, they've been showing you why they went and they made that trade for Matthew Stafford, and look what they're able to do now. They're just pummeling teams, offensively, and beating them mercifully. So I like the Rams in this one.
Yeah, how could you not like the Rams in this one? I mean, Houston Texans. Listen, I don't get me wrong. I feel for Davis Mills. This guy's just been taking a beating after beating every single week since he's had the starting job. Tyrod Taylor comes back this week, though. So maybe he gets a break from getting battered around, and maybe Tyrod Taylor's going to be running for his life on this one. But, yeah, in the end, I think Tyrod Taylor's going to give Houston's offense a little bit of a spark like he did in the beginning of the season before the injury. But all in all, I don't think it's going to be enough against this high-flying Rams offense. And the defense that they're going to have to go against, Aaron Donald's going to be living in the backfield, basically.
Boom. Yeah, settle in. All right, here we go. We've got the New England Patriots and the Chargers. I'm excited about this one. They should maybe move this one to the Sunday night game. I think that would have been nice. Because I'd rather watch that instead of the Dallas Cowboys and the Minnesota Vikings. But New England, they were just putting a shellacking out last week and showing that they can still put up these points and they will not let off their foot off the gas as well, just like Bill Belichick has done in the past. And they like to do that to the Jets. They like to still just remind the Jets that they own them. They did that Aaron Rodgers, we still own you thing. You know what I'm saying? And we made a joke before about when Robert Kraft went out and bought private jets for the team and all this other stuff like that. They own multiple jets now. Not only the New York Jets, they own the Jets too, everywhere. So Patriots going into SoFi Stadium here to play the Chargers. Chargers had looked pretty good, but then all of a sudden they got punched in the mouth the last time they played. They're on a bye week. You hope they want to bounce back here at home. They don't have to really travel. I know the New England Patriots have to go from East Coast to West Coast and have that time difference. But you know what? I think New England and Bill Belichick, they know how to really get their guys going for this and really study. But I think this is going to be a closer one, but I think I'm going to side with the Chargers here. Despite having that coming off that bye week, I think they wanted to perform well, and they're also resting, don't have to go anywhere.
Absolutely. They're a well-coached team, the Chargers are, and having that extra week of preparation for the New England Patriots, you're going to need it against one of the best coaches there ever was, in Bill Belichick. And what does Bill Belichick do so well every week against teams? He takes away your best offensive weapon and takes away your best defensive weapon. And I don't see that changing here. New England Patriots, they've kind of surprised some people, not all, and where they are right now. They are in the hunt for this division, and they're going to continue to grind it out. Listen, as every week passes, this Patriots team is getting healthier, which they've been winning with it, even with those injuries. I mean, 2 weeks ago, they were down 4 starting offensive linemen. Now they're coming back this week healthier, and so on and so forth. I like New England Patriots in this one. They travel to L.A., and I feel like Bill Belichick's coaching style is definitely going to have this team ready to play the Chargers and well prepared.
All right, we got the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Seattle Seahawks. This is going to be, I think, a particular sloppy game.
What do we...
This is going to be tough. And it could be sloppy because they're in Seattle, so it could be raining. But Jacksonville, again, mistakes a lot of times. Trevor Lawrence trying to make do, trying to get through and progress. Geno Smith still making some big plays, getting it out there here and there. I mean, you saw that big bomb that he had to DK, but then after that really hasn't done anything since then. Can still make some plays on the run, though, a little bit. I think Jacksonville's defense is slightly better than Seattle's at this point, though. But this is going to be tough, man. I don't know. I think I'm going to go with the Seahawks just because Jacksonville's still an unknown for me, and Seattle at home, even in that home stadium, makes a difference.
Yeah,
rookie quarterback. I think Seattle, they've been playing hard even, too, despite, I mean, look what they did with the Saints. They're still in it. I'm going to go with Seattle Seahawks on this one.
Yeah, Jacksonville, they've been up and down. Listen, when you have a head coach like Urban Meyer, you're not really looking for guidance at the head coaching position because it's not there. Trevor Lawrence is kind of figuring it out with him and his quarterback's coach. That's really what's happening here. The reason why Trevor Lawrence is playing pretty well and you see him slowly progressing is because of quarterback coach. This coaching staff is a college type of coaching staff. They're not really preparing these guys to win week to week. And you see that. Listen, they're sustaining big-time injuries like DJ Chark is out this week and for the rest of the season. That's a huge loss in itself. And I feel like this team is just not ready to go into Seattle and steal a win from the Seattle Seahawks. This is a win that Seattle needs. So I feel like the Seahawks will be ready, willing, and able and getting the W that week.
All right, next up we got the Washington football team at the Denver Broncos. Oh, man, this is tough to watch, too.
Real quick,
Absolutely.
Mike Tackett picked, he picked the Bengals, he picked the Rams, and he picked the Chargers, and also picked Seahawks.
Oh, looks like him and I are on the same page with a lot of them here. We'll see. That could be good. That could be bad. We'll see. Let's see what happens. Sorry, Mike. Here we go. All right, well, Washington football team at the Denver Broncos here, Joe. Broncos, again, they're not looking so good after that whole 3-0 start, and now they're facing
played some competition now.
Yeah, some real competition. And Teddy Bridgewater making mistakes here. And not getting it done. Defense looking really sus. You know what I'm saying? Like we've said, they go from no fly zone to no run zone to back and forth, and now, Cleveland just embarrassed them, ran all over their asses. And you thought because they weren't going to have Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt and blah blah, didn't matter. Didn't matter who they gave it to. They were just running all day and all night on them. They, Case Keenum played a nice game, nice and safe, were able to do it to them. Now Washington football team seems like they're getting legs underneath them, Joe. I mean, that defensive pass rush is starting to get there a little bit. And Taylor Heineke, despite some mistakes here and there, they were in that Green Bay game. They kept holding that. I tell you what, if they didn't fail on going it for fourth down every time when they're in that red zone, it's even a different game. I mean, I know you want to go with analytics, and I hate people that just stay strict with analytics, because for me, you're losing sight of what you're watching on the field. If you're looking at a thing and looking at a math sheet and saying, well, they don't have the odds of doing this or this and this. Well, look at what the other team has been doing. Have they been able to stop you? Have they got the momentum? What's been going on? That momentum is not on this sheet here. You're not seeing that in these printed numbers. So one thing, the fact is, when he went to dive for that scramble, when he scrambled outside, I think he had enough of an angle and things and momentum. He should have just ran it in for that touchdown. He had it. Instead, he tries to go for that dive. So now it's confusing with that new rule where he's kind of surrendering himself up there and his knee kind of falls. So the ball is dead and stops there. Kind of screwed them on that play. But
I'll say
they could have had more opportunities to score there.
I disagree with the call, to be honest. Unless you kick your feet out and you slide, you're not giving yourself up. I mean, we've seen it in games before, even with Geno Smith in the Seattle game. He didn't completely give himself up and got walloped for it, and it was the same kind of situation, and there was no call. You know what I mean? So until you put your feet forward, I don't feel like you're giving yourself up and you slide. But Washington, listen, they've been struggling all season long. They seem to can't get anything going. Listen, they've shown flashes here and there offensively, defensively have shown flashes. We saw the Kansas City game where it looked like they were starting to wake up, and they looked like they were starting to get on the same page, and it just didn't happen. They let that game slip away. Now they're coming into Denver. Denver is getting some players back this week. They're getting Jerry Jeudy back, which is going to be great for them in this receiving core. Now it's going to be a little bit more broadened. Washington's going to have to contend with. Washington also is going to have to contend with this Denver running game and the duality of Teddy Bridgewater and how he can move with his legs as well as throw the ball. Denver's defense is going to be licking their chops at Taylor Heineke, a young quarterback who's starting to get better every week, but this is a tough defense to throw on. I feel like the running game isn't up to the standard that it needs to be to run on Washington's run game, to run on Denver. And in turn, I feel like Denver is going to come away with this win here for the Broncos.
All right, here we go.
Mike Tackett, he also takes the Broncos as well.
He also takes the Broncos here at home. It's tough for me. It's tough. I really like Washington football team, what they've been doing. Why not? I'll go with the Broncos. Sure, why not? They're at home. Let's do it. All right, here we go. I really don't like Washington football team. I really hate picking them, so whatever. We'll just roll with it. All right, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, New Orleans Saints. Saints aren't there yet. I can see that now. Tampa Bay Buccaneers looks like, again, slow start. Really, really close with some teams here that probably shouldn't have been close, but then last week they really flexed their muscles and shown what they can actually do when the offense is working on all cylinders here and getting it down. And the defense, not having so many problems, that must have been nice for them to not give up so many points, in a game and yardage. So I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to be able to handle the New Orleans Saints in this one.
Yeah, the Buccaneers, and listen, last week they were riddled with injuries on the defensive side of the ball. No Richard Sherman. You know what I mean? And they've been hurting in that secondary a lot. Defensive linemen were banged up, didn't play. So now they're coming back this week. They're getting a surge of bodies back this week, which is going to help them even further. Listen, Super Bowl champions, you got to try to beat them. You got to beat the best. Tom Brady has that offense rolling as he normally does, and the Buccaneers are getting healthy bodies, more of them coming back to that defense. It's hard to go up against Tampa on this one, and that's why I'm picking the Buccaneers. The Saints, Jameis Winston, he does make some mistakes, but he's not terrible. But again, the Saints offense just doesn't have enough weapons. They're not all there. And if Tampa Bay's defense is smart, they're going to just key on Alvin Kamara to try to help shut this offense down. And that's what I got there.
Yeah, absolutely. And they need to get Mike Thomas back as soon as they can. But then also Taysom Hill, I think, is a big guy that they miss having on that offense, too. All right. And the Dallas Cowboys now and the Minnesota Vikings. I think this is going to be a close game.
Definitely going to be a good game.
But
sure.
I think overall, I'm going to side with the Dallas Cowboys on this one just because I think offensively they have overall a better amount of weapons and they can just, I think, handle this Minnesota defense.
So there's a little bit of concerning news with the Dallas Cowboys. And even though they're coming off a bye week, it sounds like Cooper Rush is getting first-team reps with the Dallas Cowboys in practice, which has got to be concerning because Jerry Jones has said, I'm completely confident in Dak Prescott's health with his knee and everything. That's great, but not so much confidence in his shoulder that he recently injured. So it's got to be a little concerning. There's no clarification as of yet who is starting for the Dallas Cowboys. If it does happen to be Cooper Rush, this game could be over pretty quickly.
Yeah, then I would switch it up then.
And and that's the thing. For me, it's a little bit of a risk. So if Cooper Rush is going to be the starter, and granted, he's taking first-team reps, doesn't mean he's going to be the starter.
Right.
But they're preparing him
just in case
he needs to be. So Minnesota's at home. I'm going to go with the Minnesota Vikings in this one. I feel like the Vikings have been a tough team to contend with week to week. They've kind of hung around in a lot of games, going right down to field goal, trying to kick game-winning field goals to just having the last drive in games. And I feel like this is another one of those games that are going to be close right down to the end, and maybe Minnesota gets the win here.
All right, here we go. We got a lot of different ones. This is going to be a crazy week again, Joe. All right, now that brings us to Monday Night Football and the New York Giants and the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, and let's
go, G-Men.
Yeah,
make it happen.
You saw how to beat the Kansas City Chiefs now, Giants. And what does Daniel Jones do well? Like, he can get out of the pocket, yes, but he can also throw the deep ball. So I think you just test that secondary and just throw all day on these guys. Now, who are you going to throw to? Yes, Sterling Shepard, yeah, maybe Evan Ingram out there and stuff.
Yeah, they're going to be healthier for sure this week.
Definitely. So, I mean, that'd be better for them. But again, Patrick Mahomes, I'd say even if he wasn't starting and they had Henny maybe playing because of that gruesome injury that he faced last week, but I'm hearing that he's good to go, but I don't know. I don't know how. They got to be totally fudging something there, dude.
I'm telling you right now,
it's up to the player and how he feels, but come on.
If you ever watch that play where his head gets crushed, stomped in, he came up woozy. And he went to the sideline to get checked out and everything, and they're like, "Oh no, he's good." But why didn't he go back into the game if he's all good?
Right.
You know what I mean? So, and then the next day they cleared him, all of a sudden, he's like, "Oh, he's all clear, ready to go." Usually it takes several days to go through the testing and everything, the whole regiment of getting tested for concussion protocol.
Yeah. Where's the protocol?
And after one day, all of a sudden it's a miracle. He's cleared to go and everything's good for this week. That's a little sketchy to me. But nonetheless, the Kansas City Chiefs, they are home. That is a tough place to play. The Giants, I am really hoping you guys can get this win here. But I'm sorry. I have to go with the favorite in this one in the Chiefs. Listen, The Giants, they're getting some healthy bodies back this week. That's going to give them a better shot of stealing a win possibly against this really weak defense for the Chiefs. I mean, listen, you can run on them, you can throw on them, you can do whatever you really want. And they haven't been able to stop anybody that much. So if the Giants are smart and they can kind of get a lead early on, maybe even a 2-touchdown lead early on, that might force Kansas City to play one-dimensional football, which we've seen over and over them play, and giving the Giants chances to really pin their ears back and get after Mahomes.
Yeah, and like being a Giants fan, like I know the reality here, so I'm going to go with the Chiefs as well. Again, they're looking for that bounce-back game. This is a nice one, especially to be here at home. Excuse me, but the Giants, if they happen to pull out a win here, I'm excited and happy as a fan. And nobody's going to really blame me for picking the Kansas City Chiefs on this one. So I'm going to go Kansas City Chiefs as well and go Giants. And speaking of the Giants, next weekend, not this weekend coming up, but the next weekend after that, we're going to be at the game, Joe. We're going to see the Raiders and the New York Football Giants square off right there in the stadium. We're going to meet up with a bunch of friends all over and stuff like that.
It's going to
be very busy, but we're going to try and go live a few times too there and there and get some interviews or whatever. We're going to show you the atmosphere around this game and stuff, so we're super excited about that. So definitely, guys, stay tuned for that. It's coming up in like a week and a half or so.
Real quick, Mike Tackett's last few picks.
He
picks the Buccaneers, the Cowboys, and the Chiefs.
There you go. Buccaneers, Cowboys, and the Chiefs. Yeah, so him and I think almost had the same exact picks. That's pretty crazy. So there you go. That's it. That's our Halloween extravaganza, our annual Halloween show. Happy Halloween to everybody out there. Everybody stay safe. Make sure you enjoy yourself. All the kiddies get all the candy you can and stuff like that. And before we take off once again, thank you, everybody, for checking us out here. Thank you, Down Monday, for us. Use the music. Thank you, Mike Tackett in the house. Thanks again, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you to Stephen Murray, to our voiceover guy, and thank you to all the sponsors out there. And also, if you haven't yet, go to YouTube and hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, let you know every time we go live. Follow us on Twitter, FB_No, and also join our Facebook group, Football on the No Show, and like our page, Football on the No with Jim and Joe.
Thanks everybody for all the new additions to the football family here. Instacam. Welcome aboard, everybody. Thank you for all the support. Really appreciate it. All the sponsors, you've been great to us. Mohawk Honda, John Stone Supply in Troy, New York. Colorize. Who else we got? We got a bunch of them. Buck Environmental Solutions. There's so much to list. Really.
Yeah, absolutely.
Raise Energy Drinks.
Good businesses. Raise Energy Drinks. That's right. We never said Raise. I've been drinking.
Make sure you enter the promo code RaiseEmUp for any order from repsports.com. Go to repsports.com. They got a ton of great energy drinks. They got a ton of other products that they do, protein powders, et cetera, et cetera. Make sure you hit them up. Enter the promo code RaiseEmUp. It helps our channel. It helps us. On any order, you save 15% off. They also got some promos going right now. They got a Halloween-themed Raise energy drink right now. I think it's called Frankensour.
Yeah,
go ahead and check that out. You can get 4 cans for free. That's right. All you got to do is pay shipping. $10 shipping, you get 4 cans of Frankensour. You just got to make sure to enter that promo code, RaiseEmUp. Thanks, everybody, for the support. Really appreciate you guys. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Join us next week from 8 till 10 Wednesday night for more Football on the No with Jim and Joe.